Hey Stitch family, I hope you've been well. It's been a while since I've done that community update. It's been crazy at this end. So many things on, our constant battles with scammers that we're dealing with, but also a lot of really fun things. I've started to get opportunities to travel around the community. A couple of weekends ago, I went to Brisbane. You can read about that in the latest Stitch newsletter. And then unfortunately this week has been an absolute disaster. I have spent my time in emergency overnight in hospital with some health issues that were very unexpected. So I hope you've had a better week than I have. Thankfully, I had a lot of messages from Stitch members and other friends giving me support, which is a nice reminder that being part of a community is really, really nice when you're having a hard time. I'm back to about 50 or 60% and getting back. But I didn't want to miss something I've really wanted to share with you. It's something I've been excited about for some time. And that's what this week's community update is all about. So without further ado, let's introduce Stitch Together 2026. What is it? It's our very first conference for Stitch members to come together from all over the globe for a weekend of all things Stitch. I'll talk about what we're going to be covering. But first, a little bit of kind of background about why we're doing this. If you're a new member, you wouldn't know this, but long-time members would remember prior to COVID, back in those glory days, pre-COVID, Stitch wasn't the global community we are today. We had members, we had a number of local communities that had started, but everyone else, we had a lot of members who were communicating on the discussion forums and one-on-one messaging. And so people were kind of connecting online, but we didn't actually give everyone an opportunity to get together to really hear about what Stitch is all about and connect firsthand. So we held what we called back then a global get-together. And this was a mini conference, a weekend held in Monterey, California. And I organized that, but we had members that came from all over the US, Canada, Japan, and Australia. I think back then we weren't even active in the UK. That's right. We had about 60 or 70 people come along, and some of our local California members helped us organize things as well. So in addition to some presentations and talks, we also organize activities. It's a great place to visit. And so it was a combination of a holiday, a weekend, a get together, and a way for the members who attended to help kind of define the direction of this community. And for me, it was a real aha moment, one of those moments that we've had on the journey for Stitch to make us realize this is what it could be. Having not just a platform that helps people connect around local communities, but actually a global community where we share a set of visions and values for how to behave and how to improve our own lives by improving other people's lives and being part of a community where we all connect together. And giving us that opportunity at a global scale allows us to know that no matter where I go, I'll be welcomed. You can travel to any Stitch community, walk into any Stitch event and feel that you belong because you're part of this one big Stitch family. And that starting point for us was Monterey, California, and you can see some of the photos here of the things we got up to. It was just wonderful. And many of the people that you see on screen here today are still part of the community and played vital roles in actually going back to their own locations and helping us figure out how to get the community going in new locations. It was really, really cool and inspirational to have. I count many of these people as close friends still today. In fact, at our recent trip in the US, a whole bunch of them travel across the US to meet us in San Francisco because they formed friendships that they've held for life, basically made lifelong companions. The following year, one of our members from Georgia, named Regina, a longtime member, she had heard that I just didn't have the energy. It takes a lot to organise one of these things, particularly from another country. But she said, "Look, we can't not have an event." So she and a few other members decided to organise another one, and I came across to that. That was in upstate New York, at a place called Saratoga Springs, and similar sort of thing. We did a bunch of fun activities and so on. It was really, really cool. Now, of course, along came COVID and the world changed. And so we had to put a lot of those sorts of things on hold while we've had to figure out how to create Stitch to be a financially stable and sustainable community. But more importantly, how to get what was happening in some of our locations where we had these vibrant local communities, how to get that to happen everywhere. Now, we're not everywhere, but we're in hundreds and hundreds of locations now. So we really are a global community. We've grown dramatically in the UK. We've started growing in Canada, New Zealand, obviously established in Australia because that's where I'm from, and that's where we started, and the US. So it's been great growth, and we're not going to stop until we've created world peace and improved the lives of anyone over 50 who wants to join. But it's time for us to do another one. Now, next year, you might have seen we have one of our big Stitch trips to Ireland in the middle of the year. And that's full. That's fantastic. We've filled that trip up, so I'm sorry there's no more space on that trip. We do have another big Stitch trip a little bit earlier to Sicily. There's still space on that one. So you've got 2 opportunities to get on board one of our trips that are basically like these mini conferences that travel around, and you get to experience the wonders of Stitch with a bunch of Stitch buddies, lifelong companions, and do some miraculous travel, which is really, really cool. So look out for the Sicilian one. But on the back of the Ireland, what we call them, the Mystical Island Big Stitch trip, we are hosting Stitch Together 2026. And we've chosen the location of Bath in the UK. We chose the UK because it's about time we do something in the UK. And I know I'm getting a lot of pushback from the Australians saying, "What about Australia?" We'll do that eventually too. Australia's doing pretty well. Our communities are doing great guns in Australia because, as I said, this is where we started, and our communities here are super, super active. But what's been fantastic in the last 12 months has been the growth of our members in the UK, where things are just getting started. And so we thought it would be a great opportunity. I'll be in Ireland. There'll be a whole bunch of people coming for the Big Stitch trip to hold our next global get-together, which we're branding Stitch Together 2026 in Bath in the UK. Now, if you don't know Bath, it's one of the most historical towns in the UK. It's got a whole lot of Roman baths. That's why it's named that. Lots and lots to see. And we'll be holding a conference in downtown Bath. So it's all in walking distance. We decided, rather than doing one of the big metropolitan areas that many people might have been to, but it makes logistics really, really hard. It makes things a lot more expensive. And it means it's just harder to get around. We have to plan for travel time from A to B and so on. Now, Bath is a really small, all of the sites are in the downtown, old part of town, are really, really interesting. And so we're organising a conference that will involve, as I said, we'll get a bunch of speakers and talks around various different topics. I'll be there. We're doing a bit of keynote speaking, but a whole lot of interactions for you if you'd like to attend as well. Now, most of the people who attend I know will be coming from the UK because it's not as far. But as I mentioned, our last global get-together, we got people coming from other sides of the world. A lot of people travel around that time. So we're expecting to see, we've already got people registered to it from the US, from Australia, and from the UK. So it's already global and international. We expect it will sell out. The conference itself is what we'll be running. And then you can choose your own accommodation. Now, Stitch, through the Stitch Travel part of what we do on Stitch, Louise from the Stitch Travel team will help you, place you in a hotel if you want, but you can also stay with friends. You can stay in a hotel or guest house or Airbnb of your choice. That's totally fine. We'll be running the conference in one of the hotels in town, and there'll be a link at the bottom of this video that you can follow with the listing on Stitch. But if you lose it, just go to the Stitch travel page and you'll be able to find it at the top of the page for Stitch Together 2026. It's something that I'm really excited about because I love giving all of our members the opportunity to give us input into how we shape Stitch. We know that depending on where you live, you're dealing with ways the community can be improved. You've got questions, you've got input. You just want to actually meet people. You want to have a good time. So the conference will be a blend of all of those things. We'll be doing some get-togethers and giving people the opportunity to engage and give input around particular topics, learn about things, about the why behind Stitch, learn about how we're improving the world, how we're improving our lives, the impact that you are having just by coming along to events and activities. And we'll share some of the research and the thought that goes into things. And we'll also share some of the challenges, because I think helping our members understand how Stitch works, what are some of the real challenges that we face, and and how you can contribute and be part of something that really makes a meaningful difference to the world is really, really cool. But then on top of that, there's so many activities to do in Bath. We'll be having social events, walking tours, just a whole range of things. There's actually too many things to fit into a weekend, but there'll be a lot of time for your choice and personal fun as well. So I understand many people won't be able to join, and this is going to be a thing every year, but we hope that every year we'll have one conference at one location around the world. And we've chosen, in every single case, we've chosen a location that doesn't have a very active Stitch community, because it means that everyone who's going to be there will be being there as a tourist, as something they can really enjoy. Monterey was great. We did wine tasting, we did walks on the down the coastline, we did a whole range of things like that. Bath has its own special things to enjoy. I'm hoping this is something we can repeat, and we will do them in locations that one of the countries that Stitch kind of predominates in, people can get to reasonably easily, but it's still a trip. So it's like a mini holiday away with Stitch members as well. For the people on the big Stitch trip who have already registered to come, they will have come a long way. They'll have seen Ireland, so we'll be able to talk about that and share their experiences and so on. And we found that experience in our recent US trip. At the end of the trip, the bond that the big Stitch trip members had was something they could kind of share then with the members we met in San Francisco, and it was just great to see the community come together like that. So look, check out the details. It's something I'd love everyone to participate in if they want to. Understand it if it's too far, but keep your eye on it for the future, because it's definitely something we'd like everyone to have an opportunity to do one of these days. And I think these events will get bigger and bigger as we find ways to make them scale and get them more professional. At this stage, it's myself and Louise organising it, and we're going to get some volunteers from Stitch members to make it happen. But that's everything we do on Stitch. It's all powered by volunteering and powered by the power of the community. But we are going to have such a fantastic time. On the back of the Bath trip, I'm imagining I'll probably get to London and have some events then. So if you miss out on that, I'm hoping I'll get to see you if you're in the UK. And if not, then there's always next year. All right, thanks for listening. I'm looking forward to hearing your response. And in the meantime, look after yourself, and bye for now.